Today we are talking about themes in biology. The study of life reveals common themes. All levels of life have systems of related parts. Structure and function are related in biology. Generally, structure does determine the function of many things. Organisms must maintain homeostasis to survive in very diverse environments. Remember that homeostasis is simply an organism's ability to maintain constant internal conditions despite changing external conditions. Evolution explains the unity and diversity of life, and life's processes involve the replication and transmission of genetic information. Next, let's talk about the 7 characteristics of life. How do we determine if something is living? Very plainly, we can look and see that this rock here is not living. The plant, however, is. But what do we use to determine that? There are 7 things that we look for to determine if something is living or not. The first, living things are composed of cells. They may be multicellular, in which specialization will increase until some cells do only certain things. There's also single-celled organisms, and they have the ability to sustain themselves. Secondly, living things have different levels of organization, such as the cell. A group of cells will become a tissue. A group of tissues become an organ. A group of organs becomes an organ system. And a group of organ systems becomes an organism. Next, all living things have to use energy. Living things have to take in energy and use it for maintenance and growth. Not all living things on Earth derive their energy from the sun, but most do. Fourth, living things respond to their environment. Living things will make changes in response to a stimulus in their environment. A behavior is just a complex set of responses to a stimulus. A stimulus could be anything such as heat or thirst. Fifth, all living things must grow. Cell division is when cells replicate and make more of themselves. Cell enlargement is when the cell itself grows and gets larger. The cells will not continue to grow if they can't get the nutrients inside and the waste out. So the size of the cell is limited by the surface area to volume ratio. An organism will get larger due to the increased number of cells, not size of cells. Living things must reproduce. Reproduction is not essential for the survival of an organism, but it does have to occur in order for a species to keep surviving. Asexual reproduction is the reproduction of an organism without the use of gametes or sex cells. Sexual reproduction is producing offspring using those sex cells. And finally, living things have to adapt to their environment. Adaptations are traits of an organism that give it an advantage in a certain environment. Variations of those individuals are important for a healthy species. Now, if we go back to our examples of the rock and the plant, the rock doesn't adapt to heat or cold or being dry. However, the plant can. The plant needs sunlight in order to produce energy. The rock does not. There are different levels of organization with our plant, from the root system to the stems to the flowers, while the rock is just a group of atoms. Our plant can adapt to the environment. If it doesn't get sunlight and it is too dry, the leaves will dry up and fall off. The rock is unchanging. The rock will also never get larger or make more of itself, whereas the plant will eventually produce offspring.